Two of the buzziest Oscar hopefuls this year look back at the earliest days of cinema. There's The Artist, the black and white silent film. It's got a French director and a French cast, but it's set in 1920s Hollywood. And then there's Hugo, Martin Scorsese's 3D ode to the pioneering filmmaker Georges Méliès, who invented special effects at the turn of the 20th century by doing things like hand painting frames of film. Ben Kingsley plays Méliès in the movie, and Scorsese uses clips from his actual silent films. So there's clearly a surge of old Hollywood nostalgia this Oscar season. Where did it come from? Why is it happening now? We will take you to the red carpet to find out, to the glitzy premieres, to the screenings, to the library. Yes, the library. Stay with me. We're gonna go to The Birth of Promotion, a new exhibit that spotlights old Hollywood movie marketing. And it's pretty timely because, of course, award season is not just about movies, it's also about marketing.
The first one I found that actually says the words for your consideration is this ad for The Man with the Golden Arm. This is Daily Variety. I think once the Academy Awards got on television, which happened in the early 50s, everyone started pouring the bucks in. It just continued, I guess, to this very day. I mean, they can do an ad like this for Space Jam in 1996.
Classic.
Best actor Michael Jordan for your consideration.
Look how he's a serious thespian right here.
Yes,
He's
right.
Do you feel like we're in a moment when people are excited to look back at the early days of cinema?
Absolutely, partly because they're sort of bored with other things. Now the film can do anything. They want to know how it works and how it worked in the past.
If you watch a silent movie, the way you participate to the storytelling process as an audience is something very special. It's really a new sensual and sensorial experience, and people are not used to it anymore.
It's not intellectual, it's just physical with the audience. I watched a lot of movies for this role. I watched Douglas Fairbanks movies. I watched Gene Kelly for his energy, his smile.
The mannerisms and the gestures and the way women held themselves and the way they expressed themselves was very different. I mean, I used to want to pretend I was sick and stay home from school so I could watch black and white films. That's why I wanted to be an actress.
You only have to look back in time. You only have to look at these often forgotten movies to look at the past, not just as some old-fashioned place, but somewhere that's incredibly vibrant and full of life and full of things that can teach us about how to be irreverent and unconventional in our thinking today.
Now, you've worked with Mr. Scorsese. Can you tell us a little bit about what it's like to work with him?
Every reference he gives you is always has a film reference attached to it. So sometimes you'd watch a film literally to see the shape of a collar or a buttonhole.
I worked with him on a commercial once, which was a kind of homage to Hitchcock. So he invited us to come to his screening room, and he screened North by Northwest, a copy of the film that he had that had only been screened something like once before.
Georges Méliès, he was a cutting-edge filmmaker just over 100 years ago, and Georges would have said, of course you must do this in 3D. He would have
Who are you winking at?
Patricia Clarkson, one of the stars from Elegy. And if you've seen the scenes from Elegy that we shared, you'll say the least I can do is wink at her.
If I were to do this video in a silent film style, what would I do? What would I have to do to get my questions across to the audience? So do you think if I asked you a question without words and you can answer silently?
People think of it as an intellectual experience, but it's the exact opposite actually, because you just have images and music, you don't have words. And also it's a universal language, so it's something very special, and you should try it.
I should try it, I will.